Okay, so let's begin with our presentation from Supporting Care, Whole Person Support. Thank you. Lynn Chilton brings over 33 years of extensive nursing experience to her role as a clinical advisor supervisor at CVS Health. Her diverse background encompasses direct patient care, nursing education, and administration. Lynn began her journey with Supporting Care as a registered nurse trainer, later advancing to the position of clinical advisor. Since 2022, she has been leading the clinical advisor team as a supervisor. Lynn's experience includes supporting population health programs and fostering collaborative relationships with clients. She earned her associate's degree in nursing from Rockingham Community College, her bachelor's degree from Chamberlain College of Nursing. Throughout her career, Lynn has obtained multiple certifications, underscoring her commitment to professional development. Residing in Reedsville, North Carolina, with her husband of 33 years, she has 2 sons, Ryan and a wife, Hannah, and Matthew with a wife, Allie. Lynn enjoys spending quality time with her family, particularly her 18-month-old grandson, and looking forward to a granddaughter in February of 2026. Her hobbies, these just hobbies I like, I'm liking this. Her hobbies include reading and horseback riding. And knitting. And knitting, yes. Okay, please help us welcome Lynn Chilton.
When I was looking at that, as you were reading my intro, I thought I should have left off where I came from, because I thought it would be fun to have you guys guess the accent. Since I've been out here the past 2 days, that's happened a lot. People hear me talking like, oh, you from North Carolina, South Carolina? And it's really fun to play that game, where you're from, because I simply don't sound like most people that grew up here in California. But I want to thank you for welcoming me here today. I want to talk a little bit about staying healthy in retirement, and then introduce the Supporting Care program offered by Anthem that supports members with one of 20 chronic and rare conditions. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. I cannot see what's on the screen. Okay, if you will go to the two. Okay, thanks. So what is whole person care? Does somebody want to throw out an answer for me? Y'all seem like a pretty interactive, festive group. So what do you think whole person care is? Just yell it out.
Total care.
Total care. Okay. Total care that encompasses what? Everything. Exactly. I'm sorry, look it up. Yes. See, I don't even need to talk to you guys, because if you were all standing up, things that you do when you're active and healthy, like these guys have it. Yes, ma'am. There's his two up there. It's not on here? I do get to it. I get to that. So the whole person care looks at physical health, emotional well-being, which is mental and emotional, social connection, finding friends, things to do in a social circle where you get out, meet people, do fun, enjoyable things, and things that give them life purpose and meaning. Benefits of whole person care: better health and energy, stronger relationships. Again, goes back to that friend group, having good friend groups, having connections with your spiritual groups, church, clubs, things like that. Having more confidence and control of your life and your health. Really does increase activity, increases longevity, and increases enjoyment in life. Okay, next slide, please. So, what does it mean to be proactive?
Just study for yourself.
Okay. So, proactive really looks at being aware of what could come, preparing for things that could come in the future, versus reactive is when something happens that you react right then. We really want to be proactive in our approach to healthy aging and health care, to prevent problems from happening, find issues early, so that the fix could be much quicker, less costly, less time-consuming, less challenging. So it's very important to be proactive and understand the steps that go along with a proactive approach to whole person care or protecting your health. Next slide. A lot of these things are the same thing, just kind of reiterating the importance of proactive care and things you can do today to increase your life satisfaction, increase your health, prevent things that could be problematic, for instance, heart disease, diabetes, things like that we can kind of control somewhat before they become a problem, with healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, good sleep patterns, very important. I think a lot of people don't really understand how important a good regular sleep schedule is. Our bodies need that sleep and rest to repair and prepare for what's to come. So maintaining good sleep hygiene is what it's called, is really also very important and something that I think really gets left out a lot. Diet. What we put in our body fuels us. We need to have a very rounded diet, including carbohydrates. Yeah, we love carbs, right? Not necessarily the kind of carbs, but complex carbs, whole grains, things like that. Lots of good vegetables, fresh vegetables, good source of protein, and then maintaining good calories. As we age, we need more calories for our bodies to do what they're supposed to do to repair and stay strong. So it's really important to make sure that you're eating healthy, well-rounded meals and paying attention to all those food groups because that fuels your body, keeps you going, keeps you moving, keeps you living longer, stronger, happier, all the things. So diet's really something that, again, I think that as well as sleep gets overlooked. Managing stress and emotions, very important. Stress can really bring us down. It can cause our bodies to have physical symptoms. So it's extremely important to manage your stress, connect with your friend groups, connect with your spiritual groups, find some hobbies, join a club, volunteer, just anything that gives you purpose, meaning, makes you want to get out of bed every morning. I know, we talked about my grandson. Show of hands, how many of you are grandparents? Yes, grandparents. I heard people say in all my years, growing up and raising my two boys, just wait till you have that grandbaby. You've never known anything like it. Well, I didn't believe them because I love my kids so much, but I got that grandbaby. I don't need to say anything else. I think you guys know what I mean. He's my purpose right now for getting up. He's my reason for wanting to follow these tips that I've provided today to stay healthy, to live my best life, to be proactive in my health care. So it's important, to find your why and really understand your why. If you're having a bad time, make sure you have somebody you can reach out to, talk to, that can encourage you, lift you up, and support you, because that's very important. I know after retirement, we go from working every day to being around people every day to interacting. Then you're retired and you have all this time on your hands. What do? Probably can be a little difficult to find things to do, but it's on you to do that and make sure you're doing things you enjoy. Just so you enjoy your retirement because that's what we all work our whole lives for. And you guys are really, I'm really jealous, to be quite honest, because I'm not there yet. A lot closer than I was, but I would love to retire and be able to enjoy this that you guys have. I mean, you have a beautiful, beautiful place to retire and life. So I just want to encourage you to follow these healthy tips that I've provided Be proactive. Talk to your healthcare provider about recommended vaccines, screenings. There are lots of screenings that we can do that can, detect if we have something going on or if we need further treatment or care. So it's very important to maintain those screenings as well as recommended vaccines that your healthcare provider, primary care provider recommends that you get. Next slide. Actually, if you'll go to 2 slides. Is that the blue one? Okay. One of the most important things I want to encourage you all to do is create an action plan. I didn't know what an action plan was until I was a school nurse. I was a school nurse for a good number of years. And any child that we had that had asthma, diabetes, cystic fibrosis, we created an action or a care plan for them. And what was involved is understanding all the medication, understanding what to do if an emergency arises. If this happens, then this is what I do. Being sure all the players that can help if something happens are notified, understand the plan, and then evaluating that plan every 6 months to a year. But for you guys, the place to start, how you create one, just assess your needs. Look at your medications that you take for, all your health needs. If it's maintenance medication, supplements, vitamins, any medication. Look at it and make sure that you understand your dosage, that you understand what it's for, that you enable yourself to be able to get refills so you're not left without your medication. Let your family members or your loved ones know what those medications are. Write it down. Write down any doctor's appointments that you have coming up, anything that you need to schedule, write it down. Put it all in a folder and have it somewhere close by. Like if you need to run out, if there's an emergency, you need to grab that information quickly, take it with you. Also have your emergency contacts listed there, as well as your preferred hospital. Not only is this helpful for you, but your family members, loved ones will really, really appreciate that. Because I'm sure everybody here has probably been touched by a tragic illness in your family, an accident, and what do we do now? What do we do? If you have that information, have that action plan ready, available, talk to your family, talk to your loved ones, let them know what your wishes are, let them verbalize back to you, okay, yes, I do understand this. It just will give you a level of confidence as well as your loved ones and your family members. Because if we're more confident, if we understand what could happen and the what ifs, then we're not as worried about it. We're not as concerned. We're not going to focus on something like that because we've got a plan. So that's one of the things, if you don't take anything away today from what I've talked about, I encourage you to do that. You can go online, and there are templates that you can get online to learn how to create that action plan. And then make sure the doctor's aware and assess it like every quarter, every 3 months. Put a mark in your calendar, set an alarm. Let's look at my action plan again. Make sure that my medications haven't changed. I've not had a new diagnosis or something like that. So again, I really want to reiterate how important that is to everyone. Any comments or questions about that before I move on to the important program? Yes.
Plans and documents and stuff that are burned down or was destroyed, and you really have to, here in where we have wildfires, earthquakes, you really can't count on stuff to survive your home. So I think that's really, really important, even for insurance. We have to document the personal property you lost. But you lost tons of stuff, everything basically. So I think this is all good. But that's the one thing that I never considered, before. That I had my laptop, computers, with all these stored. But that
somebody. You can email it to yourself even, and get back in your email if I was lost, but that's a great tip there. Any more comments or questions about creating? Yes, sir.
Hold tight, we're going to bring a mic to you. Give us one moment to get to you.
I just want to make a suggestion promoting the whole person care. What would be, I think, very useful would be if a chart of things to look for at various stages of life, especially those of us who are retired, and the things that can occur as you get older, and preventive care that you can take or to stabilize conditions that are permanent, that could be, reduced to something like a sheet of paper like this.
Okay.
And it would be like a guide for people as you get older to have checkups for this, preventive care of that. I think that would go a long way to helping guide people to things that they should look for. Because some of us may develop conditions that we don't feel, but are very important that we become aware of. Otherwise, when we find out, and we can get it right.
Is someone here with LACERA benefits that maybe has that information or could get that out to the members? So could you, okay, like a one-pager about, okay, great. Thank you for that. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, I'm sorry.
I want to say, I totally agree with them. The older we get, we think, oh, well, I'm not, the numbers don't mean anything. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I have high blood pressure. That's something. I never even thought about that, but now I'm on medication and I'm so worried.
Yeah, a lot of the chronic conditions that we get as we age, the symptoms come on so slowly, or they don't have symptoms, and you may not be aware. That's why it's extremely important, again, to follow up with the doctor, do recommended screenings and things like that. Anybody else? Okay. So the Aquatic Disease Management, Care Management Company helps manage members with one of 20 rare and chronic conditions. And for you guys, it's members who have the Anthem Blue Cross 1, 2, and 3. Those people are eligible to participate in the Aquatic Care Program. And if you go to the next slide, there's a list of the complex conditions. This is a benefit free of charge. There's no extra charge to the member. Once they are identified as eligible by having the coverage and having the diagnosis, the Aquatic Care Program reaches out to the member to engage them with a primary nurse. The primary nurse is the main point of contact for you all, or the members of the Aquatic Care Program. They do quarterly assessments looking at the chronic condition, symptom management, medication management, talk about hospitalizations, proactive care like we talked about, working with a physician, as well as any comorbid conditions that may be going along with those chronic and rare conditions. A lot of these do have other problems that go along with them. High blood pressure, of course, is very common. And so the nurse at Aquatic Care really focuses on the member as a whole and helps navigate the healthcare system. Eligibility is available as long as the coverage is there and the diagnosis is there. These are conditions that don't have a cure, so the diagnosis is a lifetime chronic progressive disease. And it's very important to understand the complex nature of these diseases, these conditions, and really be proactive about managing those. And the Aquatic Care nurse does that with the members. They engage telephonically, by telephone, text message, email. So there are multiple ways that someone who has enrolled in the Employee Care Program can reach out to their primary nurse, communicate back and forth with their primary nurse. Next slide. Yes, ma'am.
How does exactly the CVS work with the ANCOM? Because I'm confused. I get information from ANCOM differently, and then I get cards from CVS, and I don't know how that works.
Is what you get from CVS about your medication benefits?
Yes, I have a husband who has rheumatoid arthritis a lot. It's hard for me to get doctor's appointments, and sometimes he needs to get help right away. Do I come to CVS or go around them, or do they have a nurse on both of the places?
I tell you what, after we're done, I'll be back at that booth and we can talk. That's a great question. If your husband is covered under your plan, then he would be eligible. But that's a great question. Well,
And also, do they provide, if I need assistance for a nurse or a helper to come help me for that?
yes, ma'am, that was my next.
Oh,
Yep, sorry. She's not a plant. She's just right on track. Along with the primary nurse at Fort, we have resource specialists, and they are licensed clinical social workers. If there's a need identified for transportation, food services, respite care, if the caregiver needs a break, someone to come in the home and help with home modifications, grab bars, wheelchair ramps, things like that, our resources specialists are available to outreach to the member, connect them with those resources, and then make sure that those needs have been met. And again, that's covered under the plan at no extra cost to the member or the insured. Did that answer your question? Okay. Our nurses also talk about nutrition management. Our line is open 24 hours a day, so members can call in and speak with their primary nurse, leave a message for their primary nurse, or speak with the emergency nurse on call. Yes, ma'am. If you go to slide 12. And will everybody be getting a copy of this presentation? Or? Okay. Okay. And I can give you that number as well.
Just want to highlight something really quick. While this is focused on Anthem and CVS, we have all of our carrier partners, and they all have disease management programs. So we want to make sure that whether you're Kaiser, Scan, United Healthcare, similar services exist. But I think it's highlighting, from an Anthem perspective, the CVS and all of the other carriers have that service available to you. So today we can go back and ask some of those specific questions. We can certainly relay some of the disease management programs that the other carriers have in a future newsletter.
Great, thank you. Does anybody else have questions or comments? I want to give you guys time to go to the restroom if you would like. I know chair yoga is coming up, which is great. Another way to stay healthy and keep moving. So thanks again for having me. I'll be back there if you have any questions about healthy aging, the Employee Care Program. Just stop by the booth back there, and I'll be glad to provide more information.
Today we're really fortunate. We have Dr. Whitney Hoffman. She's with Anthem Blue Cross today, and she's going to lead us in some chair yoga and some stretching. So, Wendy has more than 25 years of experience in different aspects of public health, wellness, nutrition, and fitness. Wendy has a PhD in industrial and organizational psychology, dedicating her research and dissertation to employee wellness programs. She has received 3 master's degrees: public health with an emphasis in health services administration, social work with an emphasis in administration and industrial and organizational psychology. She has received a Bachelor's of Science degree in physical education, specializing in athletic training. She currently sits on 2 nonprofit boards and has served on 2 other nonprofit boards in the past. She is a seasoned professional speaker, giving motivational, educational, technical presentations and conference workshops at work sites, colleges, and universities, and more, in topics ranging from health and wellness, nutrition, mental and physical links, injury prevention, workplace wellness, disease management, obesity prevention and intervention, and more. She also works part-time as college professor and a lecturer. So please join me in welcome Dr. Hahn. Thank you.
All right, everyone, you're definitely going to want to be seated for this one. So, if you got anything in your hands or around your feet, you're going to give yourself a little bit of room so we can move around a little bit. Okay? So if you can put your hands on top of your knees, and I want you to go ahead and you can keep your eyes open or closed, and I want you to think for just a moment about what you'd like to get out of your practice. Maybe you want to just take a little stress off, chase away those worries, maybe decrease some aches and pains, whatever it is that you want to get out of this. And I want you to go ahead and take a nice deep breath in, and exhale nice and slow. And with each breath in, I want you to imagine that breath being a healing energy that goes out to all the parts of your body that need it, emphasizing what you wanted to get out of your practice. And each time you take the breath out, I want you to imagine it picking up anything in your body that it no longer needs or wants. Take a nice healing breath in, and let go what you don't need. Healing breath in, and release what you don't need. One more time, healing breath in, and release what you don't want or need. You can open up your eyes, and we're going to go ahead and work on a little stretches today. Look over your shoulder as far as you can. Take a nice deep breath in. Drop your chin down, let it follow along your chest line, all the way until you're looking over the other side. Take a nice deep breath in, and all the way back the other side. Bring your head up to neutral, and I want you to go ahead and bring your ear to your shoulder. Let gravity kind of pull it down. No sense to really force it. Take a nice deep breath in, bring your head back up to neutral, and gently go to the other side with an exhale. Take a nice deep breath in, head back up to neutral, and exhale, chin down to your chest. Good, bring your head back up. Now, throughout the rest of the exercises, I want you to put a small smile on your face. And I want you to focus on hanging on to that smile, because every time we smile, it makes our brain think we're happy. So even if we're not, the best time to use it is when you're kind of in a bad mood. You smile at the people who are making you mad, it makes them go away. All right, you're gonna bring your palm up, grab hold of your fingers, and pull back nice and gentle. You should feel a nice stretch down your forearm. Drop your palm down very gently. You're going to pull in. If you have anything like carpal tunnel or anything like that, you don't want to pull in very far. So no pain with any of these. Then you're going to bring your palm up and give it a little twist. You should feel that all the way in your shoulder blade. And then all the way the other direction. Good. And then let's try the other side. Palm up. Go ahead and bring your fingers back and pull. Bring your hands down. Bring that wrist back just a little bit. No pain, no discomfort. Go ahead and bring your palm up and then give it a little twist. Again, you feel that in your shoulder blade. And then the other side. Good. Let's go ahead and do some shoulder rolls. And then the other direction. And a couple shoulder shrugs. Now when your shoulders are nice and low, we're going to go ahead and bring our arm across, grab a hold of your elbow, pull it in, and then give yourself a hug. And you're just going to rock back and forth as though you're having the best hug in the world. And while you're hugging yourself, I want you to repeat to yourself, I am loved, I am beautiful, I am fabulous. Okay, let's back down. Let's go and do some shoulder rolls. And then reverse. And some shrugs. Push it all the way down. Now you can bring your other arm across. If you can't remember, it doesn't matter. Pull it in and give yourself a big hug. And you're going to repeat these mantras. I am strong. I am invincible. And you know the rest. All right. You're going to go ahead and bring your hands behind you. You're going to go ahead and just grab that chair. You're going to roll those shoulders back. Chest is going to be out. Chin's going to be up just slightly. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale nice and slow. One more time. Nice deep breath in. And exhale nice and slow. Now, if you're sitting next to somebody, I want you to very gently bring your arms up. Now, you're going to want to follow the same direction as me. So we're gonna lean gently to one side so we're not bumping into each other. This is a test to see if you can follow instructions. And then the other side. Good. Now you're going to go ahead and drop one hand back. All right? Now just let the other one dangle for a minute. So now we're going to grab that elbow, pull back, stretching out those triceps. And again, lean gently to one side. Come back up. Now, this one's a tricky one. You do not have to touch your fingers. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. You do not have to touch your fingers. Okay? This is a cow face pose. It's actually a really good for you stretch, but if you've got a shoulder problem, don't hit that point of pain because that just causes inflammation.
No, René, si le pones así se frisa. Ponle.
You're just stretching to whatever feels comfortable. Now, whatever stretch you're at, I want you to bring those elbows down, chest out a little bit. It's a little bit of a deeper stretch. And then you're going to take that top hand, bring it around, grab a hold of your wrist, and pull across. You got it. Okay, let's try it all over again, the other side. Arms up. Make yourself as long as you possibly can. Pull that belly in. Make sure you're still breathing. It's not overrated. Okay, drop that hand back, touch the top of your back, grab hold of that elbow and pull back. Good, and then lean gently to one side. Come back up. And we're going to bring that hand behind and try to touch those fingers. Doesn't matter whether you touch them. Now, when you do this at home, you can actually put a towel in your hand and use the towel to give you a better stretch. Okay, bring those elbows back, chest out. And bring that top hand behind you, grab a hold of that wrist, and pull across. All right, we bring your hands back around. We're going to go ahead and put our hand on our opposite knee and then look over your shoulder as far as you can. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, hold it here. One more time, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, hold it. Good, let's go ahead and go the other direction. Hand on your opposite knee. Look over your shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale nice and slow, but hold the stretch. C. So we're going to exhale, cat out. Inhale, cow. Okay, exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Good. All right. There's an option for this next one. You can start at this level, and that's as far as you go. Or you can bring your knee, bring it up a little bit, or you can go all the way up. Whatever works for you. You don't want it to be uncomfortable, so you hit the level that makes the most sense to you. Now, even when you're just in this position, you probably feel some tightness in that hip area. And we don't want to hang out like this all day, only when we're stretching. Okay, now we're going to lean forward a little bit. Almost like we're hugging that knee. And I want you to make sure that you are breathing while you're doing this. No holding breaths. People forget to breathe. It's amazing. Okay, come back up. Now this is going to be a tricky one. We're going to hook our elbow like this. So it is the opposite elbow to opposite knee. And it does not have to be all the way. It's okay. And then if you feel like that's enough, that's as far as you have to go. But if you feel like you can go further, you can look over your shoulder. Good. Come back around and then unwind. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a little sit walking. We're walking on our sits bones. And then we're going to do a little hula hooping. When's the last time you guys have hula hooped? Might have been a while, right? Should hula hoop every day. And then reverse your hula hooping. Who knew you guys were so good at hula hooping? You have to admit that hula hooping feels really good, doesn't it? You're just like, whoa. This is why riding horses is so good for your hips. It's really good for your hips. Okay. Now we're going to try the other side. So you can start here, or you can go halfway up, or you can go all the way up, whatever feels good to you. I know at this point you're probably have forgotten the smell because you're just like, I'm just trying to get through it. Lean forward a little bit. And then come back up. We're going to bring that knee up. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. If you feel like this is enough, you don't have to go any further. For those of you who want to, you can also look over your shoulder. Good, and then unwind. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to rock to our heels and then to our toes. Heels to toes. This is really important because it helps to prevent falls. Okay, I won't make you do all of them, but it's also really good to do the alphabet. I like to do the Spanish alphabet because I still don't have it mastered. But you actually draw it with your toe. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Get it? I switch. A, B, C, D, E, F, no, am I messing it up already? H, E, J, K, L, M, you get it? And you can use any language to do this. You can do some katakana, some kanji, some Arabic lettering, whatever you want. Practice, practice, practice. Also really good for fall prevention. All right, you're gonna have your foot out in front. We're gonna have our hand on our leg, take a nice deep breath in. We're gonna bring our toe towards us as much as we can. Sit up nice and straight. And as we exhale, we're gonna slide down. Now don't slide down so far that you can't get back up. And if you get to that point, raise your hand, I'll come and save you. And then come back up. Switch to the other side. Hand on your leg. Take a nice deep breath in, nice and tall. Exhale, lean forward. Come back up. Take a nice deep breath in. Don't hit the neighbor next to you. Big smile on your face. Lean gently to one side, exhale. Nice deep breath in to the center. Exhale to the other side. Nice deep breath up to the center and come back down. Hands on your knees. And we want to think about what we were trying to get out of our practice today. So I want you to scan your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, and I want you to direct that healing breath to any remaining parts that need it. So nice deep breath in. Exhale nice and slow, releasing anything you no longer need or want. Nice healing breath in. Exhale, releasing anything you no longer need or want. Nice deep breath in. And exhale. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, bring our arms up, palms together. Exhale, thumb to your third eye, to your chin, to your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.
This is our last presenter for the day. I do have a little bit of housekeeping rules. As for respect for the presenter, if we can make sure that everyone finds a way to their seat and doesn't interact with the vendors in the back. They are closed at the time of the presentation. They're not going anywhere. The information on the table you can get when we're done, okay? Does everybody agree? Can I get a yes? Yes. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. So the next presentation will be sponsored by SCAN, and it's called Caregivers and Caregiving Journey. Now everyone can hear me, right? Okay, that was another thing. I want to make sure you can hear us. Okay, our next presenter is Elise Smith. Say that right? Okay, great. Okay, Elise Smith is a committed healthcare professional with a strong commitment to person-centered care. She holds a Master's of Science in Global Medicine from the Keck School and Medicine at UAC. Elise began her career in frontline positions, serving communities as an EMT for the fire department and working as a certified nurse assistant in hospitals and skilled nursing facilities. In her current role as a senior program manager at SCAN Healthcare Plan, she leverages her expertise and passion to develop effective care delivery strategies that enhance health outcomes and aims to improve the overall experience of care for seniors and their loved ones. Please help us welcome Elise Smith.
Me today. I'm super excited to be here with you all. As she mentioned, my name is Elise. I'm with SCAN Health Plan, and I'm really excited. Oh, louder. Better? Okay. You just keep giving me the thumbs up if it's louder, okay? So my name is Elise, and I am with SCAN Health Plan. And caregiving is something that is really important to me as someone who has been a caregiver professionally as well as for my own family members. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the next slide. Do we all see a quote? No? Yeah. All right, I'm going to read it as it gets onto the slide, but there are only 4 kinds of people in the world. Those who have been caregivers, those who are currently caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers, right? I see some smiles and nods. Is it all comfortable? Has anyone been a caregiver in this room? Right? So you gotta know the experts here. But I mentioned that we probably all fall into all of these categories at some point too. So if we take away one thing from our presentation today, I would like it to be that you all matter and that your role as caregivers as well as care recipients is super important and that you guys have the power to make a difference in the ones that you serve live as well as your own lives. So please keep that in mind. So today we have 4 kind of main topics of discussion. Who are caregivers, the caregiver role, the person-centered approach, and the impact of caregiving. I think we need to go to slide 5. Oh, okay. Oh, it looks like. I do. All right, so who are caregivers? As we mentioned, caregivers are everybody, but today the estimates estimate that there are about 40 million Americans serving as an informal caregiver today. The average time a person may spend caregiving is about 4 years, and on average they're contributing about 24 hours a week of caregiving services to their care recipient. Now again, these are just averages. We also know that about 75% of caregivers still maintain the full-time job, so they're often contributing a lot of hours of care to our communities. The estimated value of all of this care that's being provided is about $450 billion annually in America alone. Does that surprise anybody today? No. All right. So, you may not see the diagram, but there is this diagram that we have where it has kind of what a care ecosystem looks like. And it's really important to understand the role that caregivers play in this ecosystem. Now, you should all know that as people who receive care, you should always be in that center. We want you in the center of all the conversations and of all the care that's being provided. You are the most important person on the care team. On the other side, we have the healthcare system. We know that we rely on medical professionals, nurses, therapists to get us through our day to keep us healthy. But equally as important are caregivers. Caregivers are often the ones that help us put those care plans that Ms. Lynn spoke about earlier into action, right? They may be the ones that help us get our prescriptions, help us with daily tasks, but they also are really good support systems for people receiving care and can also provide a lot of information to your care provider about how people are doing in the home and what additional supports and care they may need. So caregivers play a huge role. All right. Now, it's important to note that caregiver taxonomy, or the way we define caregivers, can get pretty complicated. So, let's go over some definitions. You may hear something called a formal caregiver or a paid caregiver, and these are paid professionals who provide care. They may have certifications, they may be home health aides, certified nursing assistants. They often are employed by an agency and are deployed to your home to support you with services. An informal caregiver, they're often called family caregivers, are often unpaid individuals who provide assistance to someone in their lives. This could be a family member, a member from the church community, a neighbor, a sibling, a parent, a spouse, etc. So someone that is known to you that is supporting you with your care. Now, there's additional legal designations that someone may have. So we're going to talk about legal guardians. An adult guardianship is a court-ordered legal designation where someone is appointed to make decisions on your behalf or on the behalf of an adult who's unable to do so on their own. Something else you may have heard before is called a power of attorney. These individuals are agents that you may trust or that you may designate through legal documents that extends power to help make decisions on behalf of the individual. There are multiple types of powers of attorney, so some can be a financial power of attorney where they make decisions on your financial status, a healthcare or a durable power of attorney. There's also authorized representatives, so people that you can decide have the authority to make, again, decisions and communicate on your behalf. And this can be formal through things like powers of attorney, or these can just be people that you authorize on your account through your word that you want to have this designation or this status for you. Now, it's important to note that just because somebody is a power of attorney doesn't mean that they're a caregiver, right? And vice versa. You don't have to have these legal kind of statuses or designations to be a caregiver. And oftentimes when I'm at work, I'll ask people, do you have a caregiver? And often I'm met with no. But then I ask a different question. Do you have someone that supports you in your day-to-day activities or your day-to-day life? And often the answer is yes. So even though we may not call ourselves caregivers, or you may not identify someone as a caregiver, it could just be your loved one, your child, your spouse. You are a caregiver, and that is an important role in the life of your loved one. Now, I'm going to pause and see if there's any questions so far. Okay. Do we have that? Yes, ma'am. That's a great question. So if you didn't hear her, she said, if you are a relative and you're supporting someone that you know to be nice in their home, can you get paid for that? And the answer is potentially. So there are state programs that if you qualify for them, you can apply, and if you meet this, like the qualifications, they will pay you money to provide care for your loved one. It's often a stipend amount or a set amount, and they'll tell you how many hours you're allowed to provide care for and how much you'll get paid. There are other types of ways to go about getting paid. So if you do this informally and you've been caring for your loved one for 5 years and you're like, I have this great skill set, and maybe your loved one no longer needs your care anymore, you can apply to these agencies, right? The experience you gain in caring for your loved one is important, and often they'll find that valuable at the agency, and they'll get you through the steps of either completing a background check, getting a TB test, and then they can hire you on to care for other people in our community. So those are two ways. It does vary kind of a little bit by county or by state, but if you have questions, I'm happy to talk to you afterwards about it as well. Any other questions so far? All right, we are moving right.
Hold on, one question.
Yeah. Hi.
What's a durable power of attorney?
A durable power of attorney is someone, again, that you are designating on your behalf to make decisions for you. Typically, when it's a durable power of attorney, it means that they have the capacity to make these decisions after you no longer have the capacity to make these decisions. So they're durable. They're very similar. Yeah, just with different words meaning the same thing. Yes. Any other questions? Like I said, it's really complicated, right? You're going to hear a lot of different words, a lot of different terms. If you're unsure why they're asking you this question on if you have a power of attorney or if you have a guardian or if you have a caregiver, you can always ask so you can make sure you're responding in the best way possible for your care. All right.
You know, nowadays, people that have an Alzheimer's and things of that nature, and let's say you didn't have an opportunity to designate somebody to take up your affairs, what happens? Can a family member just move in and do it, or somebody has to be appointed?
It's a great question. What we have seen happen in the past in that exact scenario is usually your doctor or the individual's doctor who has dementia or Alzheimer's can make a statement on your behalf saying, Elise Smith is the daughter of Mr. Smith, and she has been involved in his care, and it's in of his best interest to have me be appointed to make decisions on his behalf. Right? So I would advocate that you talk to the medical professional who knows your loved one, and they can make that statement to help the process along if you need the legal designation for any reason. All right, we're going to move on to the caregiving role. So the caregiver's role is unique and should be tailored to the needs of the care recipient. So we've heard a couple of these terms already today, but often caregivers assist with activities of daily living, or otherwise known as ADLs. Now, ADLs are best remembered as the things that are required to keep your physical body healthy. So these are things like bathing, dressing, eating, using the restroom, transferring from maybe a bed to a chair, and general mobility. These are so important, right, because they're going to help us stay healthy and independent in our homes. If we can't do these things on our own, then we need the assistance, otherwise we're at danger, right? We could fall and not be able to get up, our hygiene could fail, right, our general health would fail. So the ways that providers may assess your activities of daily living are interviews with you. They ask you how things are going at the home. They also may interview anyone that you bring to an appointment with you to see if you need help with any of these activities. And there's often a form, all those forms that your doctor may make you fill out every single year, all those questionnaires. One of them may be an ADL assessment where they're trying to understand how people are doing with these activities of daily living. These are often the things that go last, right? You may need help with these things towards the end of your kind of lifespan. Or maybe you just need support after an acute event, right? You get home from a hospital and you really need help with bathing because you have limited mobility for one reason or the other. So if you do need these types of assistance, it's really important that you make it known to your doctor or to your provider, and you ask for this kind of assistance. Now, a lot of caregivers may be uncomfortable providing this level of assistance, right? It seems like a lot of responsibility to be responsible for someone's bathing or their dressing every single day. But there are a lot of support options and training options that are free to the general public. So Google can be your best friend if you're comfortable with YouTube. There's lots of videos on how to do these tasks in an easy, kind of simplified manner that are done in a way that respects the individual's autonomy and privacy. The other category of things that caregivers may help with are called instrumental activities of daily living, or IEDLs. These are important because they help you manage yourself in the community. So these are things like managing your money, managing your doctor's appointments, meal preparation, communication, transportation, shocking. So ADLs, physical body, and then IADLs is kind of how you exist in the community. These are really important to also because, again, we want to stay healthy and independent in our communities and in our homes, so we need to be able to manage our money and manage our equipment to do so. Again, there is an assessment method that your provider may use. It's called the Watson Instrumental Activity Scale. So often you may notice, like, hey, I'm not having a great time managing my money anymore. I may need assistance with this. This assistance probably isn't needed every day, right? It could be done once a week, once a month, depending on your needs. And often if you don't have a caregiver and need this kind of assistance, there are additional resources. So transportation, right? A lot of health plans offer transportation options for you. Meal delivery services that can bring meals directly to your home that are already prepared, as well as homemaking services where someone can come into your home as you need to kind of do these tasks for you or alongside of you. Any questions on the caregiver's role? All right. Now, caregivers should know the role and prepare accordingly, right? We talked about how complex caregiving is and the important role that people play in the lives of others. So it's important to remember that you're a team and that the member or the recipient that you're caring for is the most important member of that team. So know who's on that team with you and how they provide care and support. Communicate clearly with others about your care recipient and keep accurate logs noting any changes in condition, any new signs, symptoms, needs, wants, etc. Up-to-date lists, medication lists, as well as doctors, healthcare providers should also be updated regularly and kept in an easy-to-locate space. I think we heard earlier in the whole person care presentation that these lists are important, and we had a great recommendation to send it via email in case any of these things get lost in a natural disaster. Any questions about preparation? All right, you're going to move on to person-centered tips. So you heard in my intro, I'm very passionate about person-centered care, and I'm very passionate about people being able to direct their own lives and their own care. And there are ways that you can do that, and your caregiver can also help you do that. So one of those ways is through formal documentation. So we heard Ms. Lynn talk about make a plan. Making plans are so important. Make an emergency plan. What happens if there's a fire? What happens if there's an earthquake? Where do I go? Who do I call? How do I get the support that I need? What documents do I need? There's also advanced care planning. So how do you plan for your future care and wishes, right? In the instance that you have dementia or the one that you care for has dementia, how do you know what you want done and what you don't want done before that time comes and you can no longer speak on your behalf? There are ways to do this. There's something called the 5 wishes. You can talk to your medical provider. It can vary by state. But updating these plans and talking about these plans with your loved ones is very important for the long-term and the longer-term care. We talked about healthcare proxies before, so again, these can be your powers of attorney or the people that you're designating to make decisions upon your behalf. Now, everyday tips. It's so important that as we get older that we're not forgotten in our own care. So if you're a caregiver for someone, make sure that the doctor, whoever you're talking to, is still addressing the person that you're with. Make sure that you're checking in with them before appointments. Talk to them about their goals, their wishes, what they want to get out, what questions they may have. Help them write down these questions and advocate for the time needed to ask these questions and get the appropriate answers. It's really important that you all advocate to have the appropriate support. So do you need a walker? Do we need an interpreter? Do we need to make sure that there's fresh batteries and hearing aids and we have our glasses on so we can see during the appointment? One of my favorite tips, though, is to use the important to versus the important for technique. So has anyone heard of that before? The difference between important to and important for? No. All right. So when we talk about our care, right, we're told a lot. You need to check your blood sugar. You need to eat healthy. You need to be active, right? Those are all things that are important for you. They're important for your health. They're important for your well-being. But what's important to you as the individual receiving the care, right? It's important to me that I'm at my child's wedding one day and I can walk them down the aisle. So what does that mean that it's important to me? I need to make sure that I stay active and I stay mobile so I can reach that goal, right? So the difference between important for maybe the activities you need to do for your health. The important two is what makes you happy, what's your purpose, what keeps you going, and while they're not always associated together, those things are important for your healthcare too, and they're important conversations to have with your provider. Any questions on this? All right, we are almost done. I think I'm standing between y'all and lunch, so we are going to get this wrapped up. All right, the impact of caregiving. So we know that caregivers are important. We've talked about it ad nauseum already. So we should also know that caregivers need to attend to their own needs and well-being too, right? They're doing a lot to care for the individual. They're doing a lot to care probably for their families. It's often hard or easy to forget about ourselves. So we know that caregivers experience a lot of burden, a lot of emotional stress, a lot of physical stress, and have difficulty sleeping. So just like the whole person care presentation earlier, where those activities were important for us to do for our own care, it's important to encourage caregivers to engage in those activities for their care as well. I would also recommend the yoga to any caregiver that we just did. That was an amazing revitalization and stress reduction technique. But some aspects or elements of self-care on the board, right? Exercise, eating healthy, journaling, having a support group, having a social circle, being involved in the community. You are not alone in being a caregiver. There are a lot of resources and a lot of support. So it's important to remember that as you're doing the day-to-day work of caregiving. All right, to close us out, we just have some caregiver resources here. So again, resources may vary by state. Another great resource is really your health plan. A lot of them will offer things like respite, so breaks for caregivers. They'll offer a benefit to bring a caregiver into your home. They'll bring transportation to you. They'll bring meals to you. So really check with the resources that you have available to you that are often at no cost to make use of those benefits that are being offered. That is the end of my presentation. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hold on, let us get the mic to you. Here we go. I don't want you screaming.
Can you provide phone numbers, not just online stuff?
Yeah, let me grab phone numbers and I can follow up with LACERA to get those posted.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Thank you. My question is, caregiving, is it part of short-term or long-term disability? Do you need to have a short-term or long-term in order to take advantage of caregiving, or what's the other option? Especially, I know caregiving is very expensive. Right, so is it out of pocket or?
So it depends. So there are a lot of different ways to qualify.
Or there's an incentive, yeah.
Yeah, there are different ways to qualify for caregiving services, so it's really unique. So sometimes you have to have a specific income level or a specific condition, so it's really tailored to the individual. So I can't answer your question very directly, but there are ways to get it that you don't have to private pay for it.
Okay, because sometimes you don't want to catch a pension when you have to get a professional caregiving. Otherwise, the other option is a nursing home.
Yeah.
So, but of course, if you have a home, you prefer a caregiver. But is it really affordable for middle-class retirees?
It's a hard question, right? It's actually something that they talk about a lot in healthcare. Is what happens to the people in the middle, right? If you can't afford the private pay and then you might not qualify for some of the governmental programs, what are the options and what are the solutions? And so that's where I'd really encourage you all to reach out to your health plan, see what benefits that you may be receiving through them. They often do have caregiver resources, and if they're not completely free, they may be at a discounted rate. And then there's also community-based organizations, right? So they may be able to offer you resources and support that you need at a discount than what kind of the traditional private pay offers.
Really quick, excuse me, as a side note,
Yeah.
all of your LACERA sponsored plans, if you're in a senior advantage plan, those services are there. So just call your member services, call and check and ask, and they will be able to give you more information. Okay? Hopefully that helps.
Oh,
You have a question?
Yes. Would it be possible that we could access your file for future reference? And how could we do that?
All the information that our speakers are giving today will be provided to you by LACERA. So give us time in a few.
It'll be placed on the website.
It'll be placed on the website for you. Okay?
All right, thank you so much. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Those free services are most challenging and time-consuming in our day. If you have a long-term care insurance, is it better? And also, once who does not have a long-term care plans, what is the best way to go about get one?
So that question is definitely something that when you call LACERA Retiree Healthcare Member Services, we can elaborate and give you more information about that. Okay, so any questions related to the presentation? Any other questions related to the presentation? Is that it for everybody today? So let's give a round of applause.